President Trump taking aim at Fed Governor Lisa Cook yesterday after Bill Pulte, the head of the Federal Housing Finance Agency, accused Cook of submitting fraudulent information on 2 mortgage applications. You know, you can't have 2 primary residences. The Justice Department getting involved. Cook responding by telling FBN she, quote, has no intention of being bullied to step down from my position because some questions raised in a tweet.
Is this a tweet?
Well, Charlie is...
Sorry.
No, Charlie's just interjecting. The only way for Trump to fire a governor is for cause. And Bill Pulte, head of the Federal Housing Finance Agency, thinks President Trump has got the smoking gun.
This is a very serious crime, mortgage fraud. It carries up to 30-year prison sentences. I believe the president has ample cause to fire Lisa Cook. Whether he wants to do that or not is entirely up to the president. However, we will go where mortgage fraud is. If mortgage fraud is with a Republican or a Democrat, it doesn't matter. If you commit mortgage fraud in President Trump's America, we're going to come after you. And Lisa Cook is no exception to that.
Since Charlie was weighing in already.
I just wonder, was it a tweet that she's in trouble for, or is it mortgage fraud?
Well, again, this is bullying. This is just about a tweet. It's not about 2 mortgage applications on 2 homes, 2 mortgage applications that were filled out 14 days apart, allegedly claiming that one home in Michigan is the primary residence, and then another home down in Georgia is the primary residence. I just want to start with this. Bloomberg wrote this article that the way that they are framing all of this is the new weapon for President Trump. This is a new line of attack. And the way Bloomberg framed this was, this is a practice that the central bank itself has found to be broad-based across the U.S., a practice, but it's fraud. Yeah. The central bank, Philadelphia Fed researchers 2 years ago assessed the number of fraudulent investors in the mortgage market, and it's roughly 22,000 mortgages, like the ones that Pulte flagged. It is fraud, and it's fraud of the American people, assuming that they are Fannie Mae wrapped mortgages.
And remember what happened today, just now. The case that Tish James, the New York AG, brought against Trump over mortgage fraud, writing wrong stuff down on his mortgage application, just got reversed.
Right.
Literally seconds ago. So I will say this: if this is the preferred way,
there are allegations that she did that herself.
Now there's okay. That's the whole point here. If Bloomberg is going to suggest that this is a one-way ticket, they kind of missed one of the biggest cases of prosecutorial attacks using this mode
and overreach
and that's against Donald Trump. And by the way, it's been proven today it's overreach. This is an appellate division, not just one judge, which came down and was very skeptical about the evidence of Trump misleading bankers. By the way, he didn't really mislead anybody. What happened was this. He wrote whatever he wrote down, what he thought his condo was worth in Trump Tower. He gave Deutsche Bank, I believe it was, a chance to review and to do their own assessment, and
which they did.
Did due diligence,
and they said it was fine.
They said it was fine. But I think you're touching on something that's really important, which is what exactly is the alleged lie on the application. To say, as Dagan mentioned, that you've got a primary residence in one state and then 2 weeks later claim that you've got a primary residence in the other state is a little different, you could argue, than the Trump situation of, I could think my apartment is worth $50 million. It's worth whatever a buyer's willing to give me for it. And as you said, Deutsche Bank went along with it. So I don't have double standards. You can't do it on either side. You brought up Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, Dagan. If there is an allegation here and she did something like this, as Pulte is alleging, then they need to investigate it.
By the way,
and as they investigate it, you could argue that she should be suspended from her position. There can't be double standards based on which party you're aligned with. Can't have people doing this and breaking the rules, especially somebody in a position like that trying to game the system. We talked about Adam Schiff yesterday also, and the allegations against him with respect to this. And then there are broader legal implications of it as well. You know, tax fraud, wire fraud, mail fraud, all these things that happen if you lie about something with respect to this, there's collateral damage.
Well, and if you're, you know, they use the word bullying. I've heard that word bullying a lot, okay? But she took this job. Well, you could basically call it like keeper of the interest rates. That's essentially what she does, right? I mean, it's more than that, but like her job is interest rates, fidelity to interest rates. She's part of setting where they are, the Fed funds rate. But so to take that job and not ask yourself, is there anything in my past that would suggest that I play games with interest rates? And if the answer is yes, I should become clean about that or fix that. The fact that that apparently didn't happen here is what is so damning, because for Americans, they feel like the insiders get the special deals and they're willing to take them and they never get caught. And she got caught, okay? And maybe a lot of people are going to get caught. Maybe a lot of Republicans will get caught on
Let me
this.
tell you something.
I'm sure they will be. But the point is, if you do it, you don't estimate your primary residence. You know it. It's binary.
One or the other.
So if you did it, you got to be held accountable.
You know what's kind of interesting to me? Go ahead, and then I'll weigh in with my Bill Pulte story.
Well, I mean, the whole thing about this is you can only deduct the interest on your primary residence.
Right.
If you have a second house, you can't deduct the interest. And therein lies the rub, not to mention the fact that your primary residence is where you live and you pay taxes
and you get
to
a
that
worse interest
state.
on your second house. You get a worse interest rate on your second.
It's not the interest rate. It is the down payment. With a primary, the down payment on a conforming loan is much lower.
Yes.
Yeah.
And all sorts of things.
There are any number of issues at play here. That's what I was going to.
Well, my issue here is what I find fascinating is that Bill Pulte is in the catbird seat. Now, if you know anything about, I've known Bill for a long time. I've had him. I've interviewed him. Interesting guy, very volatile on Twitter over the years, especially on meme stocks, which is strange. But what's interesting, I find, is that so if you're the head of the FHFA, you have access to so much documentation about mortgages that are filed by various people. Now, let's just play this out. Is he going to be the point man for Trump to go after people he doesn't like? It's a story.
I hope not.
I'm just saying.
Well,
it's like he's in the catbird seat. Right. He can see. So, by the way, this is almost like shooting fish in a barrel because, as we all know, obviously all these people screw up on these applications, and it is bank fraud.
Let me be clear about one thing.
No, but they
That's
all.
what I was thinking.
By the way, friend of mine went to jail for this. Friend of mine, deceased.
Yes.
Bernie Carrick was a friend of mine. He went to jail for this. Now, I don't believe he should have. It was a stupid thing. He paid back the loan. There was no damages. There was no damage in the Trump stuff. But, if you're going to go and sort of search everybody's mortgage application.
And search everybody.
I guarantee you.
Okay, there are layers of enforcement. This is not just a Bill Pulte as the self-appointed police officer, if you will.
Well, he is.
There is a financial crimes division at investigations division within Fannie Mae. And that was with the Adam Schiff case. There was a memo from the financial crimes division went through what happened with all of the Adam Schiff mortgages. Just an example. And then there was a referral to the Department of Justice. You have Ed Martin in the Department of Justice who's overseeing this, but these charges still would have to be signed off on by a grand jury, which is what is going on in Maryland and in Virginia with, respectively, Adam Schiff and Letitia James.
You make it sound like the bar is high. Remember, grand juries indict you over, what was it, the ham sandwich analogy? Mm-hmm. The bar is kind of low here. And the bar is low because, and I'm not saying it should be higher. The bar is low, and you know this because Bernie Carrick went to jail for something. Look it up. It was absurd. Donald Trump was charged. Look that up. That was absurd. You start writing wrong stuff down on mortgage applications, the minute you do that, you are in the crosshairs of financial fraud and criminal financial fraud, and the bar's low. And so my only point is that we could be seeing this against so many people.
People shouldn't do it.
Well,
Don't write wrong stuff on your mortgage application.
I agree. So, I mean, so Trump shouldn't have done it?
Because people, yes, nobody should do it, right? If we're saying it's fraud and you should be investigated if you're taking advantage or gaming the system regardless of who you are,
there's a political
don't do it.
No, but I mean, Dagan mentioned this Philadelphia Fed study. If it's as pervasive in Fannie and Freddie, then they should be doing a comprehensive analysis. That's how Pulte doesn't sit in the catbird seat. He says, we're going to use AI to figure this out for everybody, anybody who's
he did say
because it's a ripoff of the American taxpayer.
He did say, he said she was guilty of a crime. He's not a prosecutor.
No, no one is saying.
No, he said crime.
It is a crime, and I will tell you how.
This is a serious crime.
This is not an accident. If you, broadly speaking, because when you go to apply for a mortgage, as an example, I purchased a house in Cincinnati, Ohio. I work in New York City, and any bank that is going to sell off that mortgage to Fannie Mae, they say, did you just, which I never did you just say that this is your primary residence in Cincinnati, Ohio, but your job is in New York City? How is that your primary?
That's a crime?
You can't live there.
Is that a crime?
If you say it is your primary and you don't live there,
it's a different question.
And they sell it off to Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, that is a crime.
It's a crime. It's a crime when you get. It's a crime when you get indicted. It's
a crime when you get caught and indicted.
Okay, right. Bill Pulte cannot indict anybody. He's got a degree, a bachelor's degree in journalism. Guarantee he cannot indict anybody.
It's a crime if you commit it, whether
and you get caught and go to and you
if
get
you broke
convicted.
the law, you broke the law.
Right.
You broke the law.
So,
if you checked, if you said that
Bill Pulte says you committed a crime, you committed a crime.
No,
if you
an alleged crime, they got to investigate it and they have to see it through.
Listen to what he said.
That you were
Rewind
living,
that videotape.
If one person said, I have two primary residences and I'm living at the same time simultaneously in Michigan and Georgia, you are breaking the law if that's a mortgage document.
And then the prosecutor comes after you, gets a grand jury, and indicts you. That's a crime.
Yeah, breaking the law is a crime.
Right. But
they're synonymous.
Not the journalism major as head of the FHFA saying it's a crime.
No, we all agree on the process. I agree. That's the process, Charlie. That's how it'll ultimately play out.
Hopefully. I mean, I have a problem with bureaucrats running around saying this is a crime. Listen, investigate it. You know, nothing wrong with that. Hey, Bill Pulte, he found this. But if you go around just throwing willy-nilly charges out without due process, man, that sounds damn un-American to me. And I have no horse in this race. I couldn't care less about this.
Is he saying deny or due process?
No.
Or is he just saying it's a crime if it's true?
Read what he said. I just think you've got to be careful with this stuff.
Boy, you guys are fired up about this.
Oh, we get fired
up. I mean, you're talking about this the way I talk about stocks.
We just started.
We can yell at each other about like the borrowing schedule of the Treasury Department.
I know people I know people have been in jail. It's scary stuff.
I don't want to go to jail.
Don't lie on your.
Not want to go.
I don't think I'd make it there.
Don't lie on your mortgage documents for a low rate and a low down payment. How about that?